Morning, everyone. So part 5, what's your end game? A case study. So yeah, I had made one, but it's long and it's getting hard for me to upload it, given where I live, and I don't know, I just didn't want to upload. So I'm making a shorter version. But when I talk about this case study, I am not making fun of this YouTuber. I am simply pointing out, using an example, and in no way criticizing their journey, just maybe a critique. And I wish them basically a Carnivore Quest. So we're talking about Larry and Cassie, and I wish them the very best in their saga, journey, destination. If you don't know who they are, they lost a lot of weight on carnivore diet, and then they started eating some cheats, and they just kind of gained a lot of weight back. And so that's, it's not about what I think of the carnivore diet or anything like that. That's not what this is about. This is more about how to handle cheats, because really, for long-term success, people, and even short-term success, even getting the weight off, people really need to learn. I needed to learn how to deal with cheats. I mean, most people, and whether you want to call it out of the ordinary everyday food, or however you want to put it, with highly palatable, your salt, sugar, fat, ooh, I want to eat just a little bit more, and I'm already full kind of thing, that kind of food. And how to deal, how to deal with the social events, how to deal with all of that, but how to incorporate it. That's learning how to do that is paramount to long-term success for almost everyone. I mean, there are some people who don't, they're not into doing, so to speak, cheats. But those are fewer people that are like that. Most people are like me, and my health coach, and well, most people are going to love to have something a little that they wouldn't have all the time. I can get myself in trouble if I eat that too much, kind of thing. And so here's the thing: they ended up gaining back a bunch of weight. And hey, look, I lost weight, gained it back, and guess what? Every time I got away from, eating more of what I knew was better for me to keep the weight off, and not being careful, not learning how to deal with, that really delicious, highly palatable, not something to be eaten every day kind of food. Or at least, keep it down to a very small amount if you do have it every day. It depends on the person, but what works best for them. But, and so that's, the thing is that part of it is finding a diet that works long term. And why I picked Carnivore Quest was because, Larry has said, it's brutal. The carnivore diet is brutal. And, he's being honest, and, yeah, I've never tried it, never want to try it. It's not my cup of tea, not something that would appeal to me in the slightest. But, obviously there's something about it that Larry and Cassie like, especially Larry. And, that's all perfectly fine. I'm not here to talk about, certain macronutrients and which ones are best, and which I think they're all important, by the way. I think a balanced diet is a really good idea, but that's me. And well, it's basic good nutrition science, but some people lose weight in different ways, and whatever. But when it's brutal and you're trying to go back to it, and it's just not seeming to work long term, I think that having a diet that can be done, that's like, I like to do this. Sure, I'd like to have something a little more hyper palatable. That chocolate cake or that brownie or that those French fries or that lasagna or whatever it is. Okay, um, there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself once in a while, and not feeling guilty. Just as long as it's sometimes it can't be planned. Sometimes a weak moment will come, and it's how do you deal with that? Well, don't go, oh, well, now I guess I ruined it, might as well just continue to. It's like, okay, well, let's minimize the damage here and get back to the right thing to do, and it will come off. And you go on vacation, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to want to enjoy some of the local flavors probably and things like that, but learning how to keep it down to a quiet roar is important. All of that, there are strategies to enjoying foods you wouldn't have every day. And carnivore, it doesn't matter whatever one you choose. Some of them are very restrictive. I think that's part of what the problem is with people not enjoying like the Mediterranean diet, is because they're thinking about, well, it's got all these rules and I can't have the sugar and I can't have, hardly ever have meat and just a small amount if I do have any, and I can never have a nice juicy steak, and I can't have this and I can't, and it's really overall it's a pretty good diet. I'm eating more along those lines, but when there's all these rules and you feel you have to have all these rules and you don't take the spirit of a certain way of eating, rather than I must be exactly this way and oh I hate this and I hate that. Yeah. Are you really going to stick to it long term? I'm trying to get more of the scenery in my pictures and I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm saying, but anyway, does it really serve you well? Well, you decide when it comes to your diet. You can have your opinion about, I just use them as an example, and I wish Larry and Cassie very well. Sometimes they do well on it, sometimes not, and hey, a lot of us are like that. Now, yes, I did finally find something that worked with a health coach, and I highly recommend that if you can find a good one. Mine is Chris Fabuloso. You can find him on YouTube. But I found what works, and why does it work? Because I want to stick to it. I love this way of eating. Hold on a second here. I guess I'm not going to be able to do this. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to get past this car. Anyway, so I love to eat that way. And I learned how to deal with, foods that I don't have every day, how to have a cheat meal, how to incorporate how to incorporate something, just a little bit of something that I would enjoy. And most times it's not really fitting into the calories. Sometimes yeah, it is. I can make that work out. But for me, ice cream, when I have it, it's basically, and I'm not underestimating. I always weigh it because I know I can have way too much of it. An ounce or two of it. And that's what, if I'm going to incorporate it into every day, and I don't eat it every day, but into eating, that's more what I'm going to have. Or if I have an unplanned cheat like I had the other day, yeah, it's a 1 macaron, which is around 80 calories. Okay, so anyway, the case study is find something, I found something that works because I like it. I enjoy eating this way. It makes me feel good. I get satisfied. It's more carbohydrates, which I prefer, and I mean, like whole and minimally processed. I can incorporate some sugar, some other things from time to time into every day, but mainly keeping it to the whole and minimally processed. I can go out and have a cheap meal if I have a time when I have a bunch of events. I can figure out how to make that work and plan ahead and minimize the damage afterwards and learn not to eat the whole thing, and all kinds of different strategies. And so, yeah, case study is, if all you want to do is go back to cheating when you finish and you get to your, whatever weight you want, I'm not real sure I've chosen the right diet. It's just my thought. You do you decide for yourself. But I didn't want to go right back to cheating. Did I want to have, all the time, or a lot of times, or just fill in only with cheats? That's a big problem that a lot of people have. They just fill in with cheats. And no, I'm slowly adding more healthy foods and occasionally having a few more small cheats, and enjoying things and continuing to walk and continuing to do strength training and continue on the same path that helped me to lose the weight and enjoying it. I really, I know I keep saying that, but I really enjoy the way I eat. And that's a big part of it, is enjoying it. Now, obviously, it was less than I would have liked to have eaten, but I found ways to deal with the hunger. Lots of walking and eating a lot of fruit and cucumber tomato salad, and I had my ways of keeping my hunger at bay and understanding that it's okay to be hungry for an hour before you eat, before dinner or before lunch. It's not really, it's kind of normal that's why you eat, because you were hungry. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Best to Larry and Cassie, and you all have a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe. Bye bye.